September 2nd, 1870, the Emperor of France, Napoleon III, sits in a tent under a grey Prussian sky. He is not commanding his troops, he is surrendering. The once proud heir to the great Napoleon Bonaparte is now a prisoner of war. And with that, the French Empire collapses. But how did it come to this? Who was Napoleon III, the man who rose from exile to become emperor, only to lose it all? Today, we explore the remarkable and controversial life of Napoleon III, a story of legacy, ambition, revolution, and downfall. Chapter 1. Born of a name, the shadow of Napoleon I. Napoleon III was born Charles Louis Napoleon Bonaparte in 1808, the nephew of the legendary Napoleon I. From birth, his identity was tied to greatness, but the tides of power shifted quickly when his uncle was defeated and exiled in 1815. The Bonaparte family fell from grace. The Louis Napoleon was just 7 when they were forced into exile, fleeing across Europe from Italy to Switzerland and eventually to Germany. His mother, Hortense de Beauharnais, was determined to keep the Bonaparte legacy alive. She instilled in Louis a sense of destiny, that one day he would restore the family name to power. Chapter 2. The exiled prince, education and early ideals. In exile, Louis Napoleon was educated across Europe. He learned mathematics, science, military strategy, but more importantly, he studied politics and revolutions. But his early 20s, he began writing pamphlets prompting Bonapartist ideals, arguing for strong centralized leadership inspired by his uncle's empire but with modern democratic touches. And he didn't just write, he acted. Chapter 3. The coup attempts, ambitions meet reality. In 1836, the Louis Napoleon attempted his first coup, marching into Strasbourg to rally troops to restore the empire. It failed. Spectacularly, he was arrested and deported to the United States. But he wasn't done. In 1840, he tried again, this time in Bologna. Another failure, this time he was imprisoned at the fortress of Ham. While jailed, he spent years writing essays including The Extinction of Papism, which gained him support among working class French citizens. Chapter 4. The President of People. In 1848, the tides turned again. The French Revolution that year toppled the July monarchy and led to the birth of Second Republic. Louis Napoleon saw his moment. He returned to France and ran for president, leveraging his famous name, populist promises, and clever propaganda. He won by landslide. But being president wasn't enough. Just like his uncle decades earlier, Louis Napoleon wanted the crown. Chapter 5. In 1851, when the National Assembly tried to block his re-election, Napoleon III staged a coup d'etat. He dissolved the assembly and seized power. A year later, he declared himself Emperor of the French, and the Second Empire was born. But this wasn't the dictatorship of old. He promised economic growth, modernizations, and social reform, and for a time he delivered. Chapter 6. Napoleon III launched massive infrastructure projects with the help of Baron Haussmann. the redesigned Paris, turning its medieval streets into grand boulevards, wide avenues, parks, and public spaces. He expanded railroads, built hospitals, and introduced modern sanitation. His social policies aimed to reduce poverty and improve working class conditions. He demanded of a modern empire strong at home, powerful abroad. Chapter 7. Abroad, Napoleon III sought to reassert France's global power. He joined Britain in the Crimean War against Russia. He backed Italian unification effort, weakening Austria's hold in Europe. He launched the ill-fated intervention in Mexico, installing a puppet emperor Maximilian. It ended in tragedy. Though some ventures boosted France's influences, others drained resources and reputations. But the biggest mistake was yet to come. Chapter 8. In 1870, tensions with the rising power of Prussia erupted into war. Napoleon III, now aging in poor health, led his army to battle, but Prussia under Bismarck was prepared, unified, and ruthless. At Sedan, the French were crushed. Napoleon III was captured and forced to surrender. It was a humiliation beyond imaginations. Paris rebelled and the empire collapsed, and the Third Republic was born. Chapter 9. Napoleon III was exiled to England, where he lived quietly with his wife and son. He died in 1873, a man who had once ruled an empire but spent his final days far from home. So, who was Napoleon III? A visionary reformer or a delusional monarch? A modernizer or a tyrant in disguise? A man trapped between the legend of his uncle and the reality of 19th century Europe. His legacy is complex, his reign transformative, and his fall a cautionary tale of power, ambition, and the weight of a name. If you found this story fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more history deep dives. Let's know in the comments, was Napoleon III a failure or a forgotten reformer?